Alrighty, hello everyone. Today I'm going to inform you guys a little bit about global warming. Um, I'm not going to go into the political side of it, whether it's real, whether it's fake. I'm just going to give you guys some facts and kind of relate it to our everyday life and relate it to our terms and simplify it so that we can all understand how it's affecting the environment and what kind of changes are happening around us. So to get started, global warming is basically a climate change in which the Earth's surface temperature is increasing due to emitted carbon dioxide levels at a higher level than normal in the atmosphere. So to get started, a quick fact, according to a report by the IPCC, Earth's surface temperature rather, has increased by 0.2 to 0.3 degrees Celsius. That is by EN150, page 2. And so with that being said, that's 32 to 33 degrees Fahrenheit in our terms, because most of us probably use Fahrenheit as opposed to Celsius. Anyways, that's a lot. I mean, we wake up in the morning and it's 32 degrees out, and then later on in the day it's 64. We can feel that. That's a huge difference. The Earth also feels that. So anyways, moving forward, that's causing rising sea levels due to the poles, North and South poles melting, and also with that you have animals, species that are being affected because the ice is melting, and that's their home. So, not to get off track, another fact by a different article is that ecosystems are shaped by complex interactions between species and the environment. That is by Draper, and that is page 1. He goes more in depth saying that it's rapidly changing the environment due to the CO2 outputs being higher than normal, and that is somewhat caused by humans. Again, that's Draper, that's page 1 of his article. So what we can tell by that is that, like I said, I was going to relate everything to kind of like a chain reaction, domino effect. So if one species goes, another one could be affected, and then another one, and then another one, leading to a whole different world that we could live in. Anyways, to go into more depth with some facts. Yazdan goes into the rising sea levels around the country, or not the country, around the world, and rising river levels or falling river levels. He says that the ecological impact of long-term reduction of wetlands can be permanent and can be very hard to undo, if not impossible. Again, that's Yazdan, page 9. We know from Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Katrina, things that have happened around our country, that we can rebuild from those. I mean, it takes a lot, and a lot of money, a lot of hard work, but those we can rebuild from. Maybe not to where we were, but at least, halfway or more to where we were prior to that. With the river levels depleting, that can be something that we can't fix. I mean, you can't go and dump buckets of water into a river and just support it like that. This is causing a lot of changes around the world. Jumping back to the other article, in the facts in that one, Draper goes on and says, elevated carbon dioxide may cause some indirect physiological effects with consequences for predator and prey interactions. High CO2 levels decrease the success of brown crab foraging. Now what that means, and that is by Draper, page 3. Now what that means is that this particular species is having trouble with its metabolism and its will to go and catch prey. And what that means is that, say for instance, the crab doesn't catch a certain species of fish, the certain species of fish grows to a huge number, and they feed off of algae. The algae levels are diminished, and then you have other species that eat that algae. They're not going to be able to eat, and it just causes a whole chain reaction of why animals are being affected. Anyways, to get back on back onto the facts and the articles. So what are we at here? I apologize here. Effects of water levels, climate change, especially the water, strongly affected by the water entering the Caspian Sea and the rivers that feed the Caspian Sea through discharging rivers. And that was stated by Yaznipana, page 14. Sea level is affected and it could create major issues, as we know. Like I said earlier, you can't just go and fill up the rivers until it's feeding the sea. We don't have that power. Also, this is by Draper, in particular warming seems to affect metabolism where CO2 impacts process cues. Ultimately, this could lead to consumption effects in the predator. Like I said earlier, and this is Draper, page 13, like I said earlier, this is very important because it's a chain reaction. The food chain could be altered, the crab could be altered, and just in other species, just their metabolism will change, and overall the species will change. Sorry about that, got a little skipped up at the end there. But anyways, I hope you all learned something about global warming and its effect, not just on the environment, but us as a total, because we eat these species, we live with these species, and it's causing many, many changes around the world. Like I said, I didn't go into the political side of whether it's real, whether it's not, or whatnot. I look forward to hearing all your guys' speeches and finishing up some, and I hope you guys all have a nice weekend, and take care.